Hello, my name is Rolf. I'm art educator here in the Kunsthistorisches Museum. Welcome to our Instagram live tour with the topic Grumpy Cat and Friends. I'm totally surprised that you chose cats for this tour. We are here in the picture gallery, standing in a room with a lot of paintings from the 17th century, mainly Baroque art, Flemish paintings, huge formats as you can see. But we start with a very small painting, which is over there in the corner, where we see two paintings that look actually very different from what we have here in this room. Painted by Jan Bruegel, the Elder. Bruegel is a very famous name, especially here in the Kunsthistorisches Museum. It's a son of Peter Bruegel, the Elder, and the brother of Peter Bruegel, the Younger. It's the time around 1600, early 17th century. What do we see with these two paintings? Rather small, rectangular formats. Animals actually, scattered over the whole format. A collection of animals. It's sketches. This is a wonderful look behind the scenes, so to speak, to see what, how the artist is working. Bruegel made very different, Jan Bruegel made very different paintings, and from time to time he just needed animals. And where did he get it from? From observation, from life. So he saw animals and then he sketched them in very different manners. We concentrate on the lower one, where we see donkeys, and we see apes. In the upper part, in the upper half, we see donkeys. In the lower part, we see apes. But our theme is cats. Where do we have the cats? The cats can be found in the right-hand part of the painting. But that's an interesting observation. The cats are actually turned by 90 degrees. How can that be explained? These paintings were never meant to hang in a gallery, were never meant to hang on the wall. It's mere material. But for our modern eyes, it's just wonderful and beautiful. And for you, I would like to turn the cats, of course, by 90 degrees, so that we can get in touch with them. Beautiful cats doing different things, playing, sleeping, crouching. Look at this, only a few quick brush strokes and the cat is here. That's the magic of painting. So he observed animals, he made these sketches to use it later on for a finished painting. That's a nice play, by the way, to find paintings, executed paintings, serious paintings by Jan Bruegel, where we can find the cat again. For instance, this already rather grumpy cat, as it looks. This can be found in the painting by Jan Bruegel and Peter Paul Rubens. They collaborated from time to time in the Prado in Madrid. Just check it out on their website. Maybe you find the painting and maybe you find that cat again. Different cats here in the room. Just by coincidence, in this room we have a beautiful meeting of cats doing different things, busy with very different things. Cats always were an interesting theme for artists. Painters loved cats, for instance Klimt, Picasso, but also in old masterpieces cats appear very, very often actually, but very different sorts of cats with very different meanings. Evil cats, good cats, or simply cats. From this painting we can go to a much bigger one on the other side of the room. A huge painting, in fact, by an important painter of the 17th century. His name was Jacob Jordaens. He was a contemporary of Peter Paul Rubens, generation later. And we can see kind of the Rubens style, and what we have here is something that Rubens would have never painted. It's a contemporary celebration, it's big party. We see people drinking and eating like hell. And it's the so-called Feast of Beans. which was celebrated on Epiphany on the 6th of January. And why is it called Feast of Beans? Actually, till today, yeah, in France it speaks, for instance, in the Netherlands as well, yeah, there is a cake, a special cake on that day. And that cake is distributed to the people. And in that cake, hidden in that cake, is one bean. And if you get the piece with this one bean, you become king for one day. That's the king of beans. Yeah? And we see the king, yeah, in the right half of the painting, with a crown on his head. Yeah? Jacob Jordans had a nice model for that king of beans. It's not the only painting which he made of this theme, which was his own father-in-law, actually. Yeah? And we see there is a crown on his head, and we also see the crown is made of paper. That were things that could be bought at that time, yeah? Sets for this Feast of Beans, with crowns and little sheets of paper. We see them in different spots of the painting. Yeah? For instance, the young lady sitting to his right, yeah, is his queen. And how do we see that? She looks beautiful. Yeah? She has also a crown on her head, and there's a sheet of paper at her shoulder saying queen in Dutch. Yeah? Different offices, different posts. You need different people for running a court. The king alone is not enough. Yeah? They drink a lot, which we can see with this guy on the left side, yeah? Vomiting, actually. Yeah? And what does his sheet of paper say? It says de medicus, which is the physician, the court physician, the doctor, who is not very ready to fulfill his task in such a bad shape as he is at the moment. Yeah? And even the girl is drinking, all the people are drinking. Why are they drinking? Because the king drinks. Yeah? And the guy is shouting, the king drinks, and which means everyone is supposed to drink, because the king is the model. Yeah? So it's big party, it's a huge format, which is striking for such a theme. Yeah? It's not a historic, it's not a history painting, so to speak. It's not a mythological story, it's not religious. Yeah? It's a contemporary celebration. Yeah? In the back, there is an inscription in Latin. In English translation, that description says, no one resembles a fool more than a drunkard. So this is the moral warning. Don't drink too much. Don't party too hard. Yeah? Everything is very physical here. Everything is very exaggerated in a way. Everything is very straightforward. Yeah? And even some sexual things going on, yeah? Like the lady at the right edge of the painting, yeah? Kind of nipple alarm of the 17th century, Nipplegate, yeah? If you watch closely. We have animals in the painting as well. Yeah? Our tour is about cats. Where is a cat? Yeah? We have a dog here, and the dog is behaving like a dog. The dog wants to have something to drink, alcohol, yeah, from the little girl. Yeah? But there is also another animal in the right hand corner at the bottom. There is a cat. And that cat is a very interesting cat. Yeah? It's looking at us, and it doesn't look very satisfied and very happy. It looks pretty grumpy, in fact. Yeah? This is the grumpiest cat we have in the whole picture gallery. Yeah? And there is a special meaning to that cat, which I'm going to give you right now. The sentence in the back, no one resembles a fool more than a drunkard, is by a very popular poet of that time. Everyone read that poet, yeah? Who only wrote moralistic poems and texts, yeah? Always telling people how to behave, what to do, what not to do, in order to lead a decent life. Yeah? And guess what the name of this poet was? Jacob Cats. Cat in Netherlands also is cat. Yeah, that's kind of a joke. That's a witty thing the artist Jordans is doing here with his painting. Yeah? The writer, the poet, who formulated the sentence in the background, is there as well. Yeah? And of course, he doesn't look very happy. Yeah? It's the folliness of life. It's the exaggeration we see here. Yeah? It's the sensual things that don't lead very far in life, but at the same time, it's fun to look at it. Yeah? And that's a typical Baroque thing, to have both things at the same time. If you paint a painting of that format, it's always good to have a moralistic message involved as well. Yeah? So it kind of satisfies different needs at the same time. Yeah? So that's a very witty and funny way how to use this cat, yeah, which is kind of a representative, yeah, of a writer, of a poem. Yeah? By the way, if you look at the famous grumpy cat that we all know, yeah, it's amazing how they resemble each other. Yeah? I'm sure this is an ancestor of Grumpy Cat. Yeah? With one big difference, of course. Yeah? Grumpy Cat couldn't help it. This Grumpy Cat has a reason, yeah, for being grumpy. Yeah? A real Viennese cat, by the way. Yeah? Also, inhabitants of Viennese are said to be grumpy all the time. Yeah? But this is just a side kick. Yeah? So much for this painting by Jakob Jordans. Yeah? And then we have a third painting. Yeah? Up there, in the upper level, by Franz Snijders, another Flemish painter. What do we see here? We see a lot of dead birds, actually. It's a hunting still life. And he was an expert on hunting still lifes. He invented these kind of still lifes, which is we see hunting kill beautiful different birds and a hare as well. Songbirds, yeah, different kinds of birds that were hunted, lying on the table. Yeah. On the left side, we also have a basket with lemons, very detailed the way it is depicted. Is there a cat as well? Again, a very different cat. And a cat very well doing what cats are supposed to do. Yeah? I think it's not easy to see. It's also kind of a trick and a witty idea to take some time till we discover the cat. Yeah? The cat is in the upper right corner. So here we see the whole birds, etc. Yeah? Beautifully painted. And then there is a window. And behind that window is the cat. So in this case we have a fully focused cat, seeing these birds, being attracted by them, but not able to approach it. There is glass between the cat and the birds. Compositional, there's a beautiful compositional element, by the way, yeah? The long feathers of that pheasant, yeah? Kind of directing to the cat, so that in the end we also discover that cat, which puts a little life in the painting, yeah? Because it's still life, yeah? It's not supposed to be, not to show things that are alive actually, yeah? But the cat is there, and that enriches the painting in a way, yeah? And gives us something additional to discover, yeah? Okay, so much for our little life tour here in the picture gallery. Many more cats, but maybe next time, or dogs, or whatever you like. Are any questions from your side, maybe, that I could answer? Just among us, there are even 2 more cats here in this room, by the way. Yeah? But this is something that you could check if you wanted to. Yeah? A little exercise, a little homework. If you go on the website of the museum and check the online collection, room number 15, there is a map of the picture gallery. Take room number 15, you can have a look at the paintings we just saw, yeah? And there is another painting here in this room with 2 additional cats, yeah, which are not so easy to find. Yeah. Well, good luck for that.
At what age did you draw these animals? Where did your inspiration come from, like the painter?
For the last painting, Snyder's, yeah. Okay, thank you. Well, the question was, what was the inspiration for the painter, yeah, to paint this? Yeah? An important background for hunting still lifes like this is that hunting was only for nobility. That was an aristocratic pleasure, merely. Yeah? That was only the right of nobleman, yeah, to hunt. To have something like this at home is a beautiful and perfect thing. Yeah? And this is the background where painting, which makes clear why paintings like this were very much sought after. Yeah? And so it's something beautiful to have. Even if you are not a nobleman, yeah? For instance, only a burgher, yeah? By having something like this at home means you want to be equal, yeah, to nobility. Yeah? So that's an important thing.
Was it common to have house cats, or were they
Yes.
outside?
Definitely, but for ages. I mean, that's thousands of years ago that cats were domesticated. Yeah, so that's a very old thing. Yeah, you could check it right here in the Egyptian collection, for instance. Yeah, you could tell the whole story. Yeah, from 3000 BC actually. Yeah.
Do you have a cat?
No, I don't have a cat. No cat, no dog. Yeah, I prefer to have them here in the museum. Yeah.
What is your favorite picture in the museum?
In the whole museum, okay, this is a difficult question, yeah? Which actually I can't answer. I'm a big fan of Netherlandish painting, for instance. I like Flemish painting. I like Netherlandish painting. Yeah? Painters like Vermeer, Netherlandish still lifes, etc. Yeah? For some reason, I really appreciate these paintings from the Netherlands from the 17th century. Don't ask me why.
Is it a coincidence that all the cat paintings are in one room?
That's an absolute coincidence. Yeah, I chose 3 paintings and then I found out, okay, they were in the same room. Yeah? Maybe that's a good thing for such a tour, so we don't have to move so much, yeah, through the whole gallery, which is pretty big. Yeah? Okay, then thank you very much. Have a good time, stay safe, and hopefully we're going to see each other soon when the museum reopens. Yeah? Thank you. Bye.